Today we are going to learn about the very important property of the light called interference of light. That interference concept that is common to all the wave phenomena. That interference of property that is common to both sound as well as light. Already you may have learnt about the interference of sound in the 11th standard. Now we are going to learn about the interference of light. What is interference? When the two waves, when they are superposing with one another, what will happen due to the superposition of the two waves? After superposition, what will happen? That one will produce increase in intensity at some points and decrease in intensity at some other points. Because of that, that interference phenomena will be caused in the case of light. So when the two light waves, when they are interfering with one another, constructive interference will be created. Is it clear? When the intensity is increased. When the two waves, when they are interfering with one another, at some points, the decrease in intensity will be created. Due to decrease in intensity in the resultant wave, destructive interference will be created. So, alternatively, constructive interference and destructive interference will be created in the resultant wave. So, this is the common one for both sound as well as light. Now, we are going to learn about the interference of light here. Here, this superposition wave that refers to the addition of waves. When the two waves, when they are mixing with, superposing with one another, that one can be simply called as addition of two waves. Here, both the two waves, both are traveling simultaneously in the medium. Are you clear? When the two waves, when they are superposing at point P, there the resultant displacement of the particle will be created. Let us imagine a particle here. The two waves, they are meeting here. That particle at P will be disturbed by these two waves. Are you clear? This particle finally it attains the resultant displacement. Okay. The resultant displacement of the particle is the vector addition of the displacement of the two individual waves. This one is also having displacement. The displacement can be measured here. Here also it is having displacement. The displacement of the first wave can be represented as y1. The displacement of the second wave can be represented as y2. Are you clear? When the two waves, when they are meeting here, the particle will be experiencing the resultant displacement because of this superposition of these two waves. So the resultant displacement will be maximum at some points. The resultant displacement of the particle will be minimum at some other points. Are you clear? So the superposition that occurs here, are you clear? The maximum intensity or maximum displacement of the particle or minimum displacement of the particle, that depends on the phase difference between these two superposing waves. These two waves, they are going to superpose with one another. Is it clear? These two waves, they are having some phase difference. Are you clear? Because of the phase difference, at some points maximum displacement will be created for this particle. At some other point, minimum displacement will be created to the particle. Are you clear? Now we are going to talk about the interference of light. Okay. So these two waves, they are going to superpose with one another. Because of superposition, at that point, maximum intensity of light will be created as a resultant. At some other point, sometimes what will happen, due to destructive interference, minimum intensity light will be created. So we are going to see the conditions for the maximum interference, maximum intensity, that is constructive interference, and also for the minimum intensity. Minimum intensity means when these two waves, when they are interfering with one another, superposing with one another, destructive interference will be created. Now we are going to learn what are the conditions for constructive interference and destructive interference. Are you clear? So here, let us imagine two waves. This is the source of the first wave, light wave. Okay. This is the source of the second light wave. So the light starts its journey from S1, finally reaching the point P. Are you clear? Here, from another source S2, the light travels in this direction. So the distance traveled by the light is S1P. The distance traveled from the second source is S2P. Both are meeting at a point P. Are you clear? So the amplitude of the first light wave can be taken as A1, amplitude of the second light wave can be taken as A2. All waves, they should have amplitude. The maximum displacement of the vibrating particle can be called as amplitude. Amplitude of the first wave need not be equal to the amplitude of the second wave. Are you clear? So here, look at that. When it reaches the point P, this wave travels the clear shorter distance to reach the point P. But the second wave, it travels longer distance to reach the point P. Therefore, in between these two, there should be some path difference as well as phase difference. Here we are going to concentrate only on the phase difference. Phase difference is the difference which is created due to the angular position of the two waves. Are you clear? With the help of angle, we are able to measure the phase difference between these two waves. That phase difference is represented by the letter pi. Are you clear? Pi is the symbol for phase difference. Make a note. Now, I am going to write the equation of the wave for the first wave. So, the wave from S1, it starts its journey and it reaches the point P after the time t. After the time t, the wave it reaches the P at point P. For the first one, after reaching point P, we are able to write the equation that is called displacement of the first wave. Displacement of the first wave at the time t, that is when it reaches P, can be written. What is the equation? A1 sine omega t is the equation. With the help of this, we are able to write the displacement of the first wave after time t when it reaches P. Are you clear? This is the expression for the displacement of the first wave. Like that, the second wave displacement can also be written. After the time t, it reaches the point P. After reaching the point P, at that instant t, we are going to write the displacement equation for the second wave. Its amplitude is A2. Therefore, A1 should not be written. A2 sine. Here, there is a phase difference between the first wave and second wave. Therefore, the phase difference must be written within the bracket. So, therefore, A2 sine omega t plus pi can be written. Are you clear? These two waves, they are going to superpose at point P. After superposing, what will happen? Here, this particle will be experiencing the resultant displacement. Are you clear? Resultant displacement. Are you clear? This particle is clear at that point. The interference will happen due to superposition of two waves. This particle will experience the resultant displacement. So, how will you write the resultant displacement? Resultant displacement is the vectorial addition of the displacement of the first wave and second wave. We know the expression for the displacement of the first wave. We know the displacement of the second wave. When the two waves, when they are vectorially added, you will get the resultant displacement at point P. Therefore, it's a vector addition. Therefore, y vector is equal to y1 vector plus y2 vector. Simply, is it clear? In magnitude form, it can be written y1 plus y2. Simply, it can be written. Now, you write both the two equations together here. So, the equation, both of them can be written together. A1 sine omega t plus A2 sine omega t plus pi can be written. Okay. So, this is the resultant displacement of both the two waves after interfering here, after superposing with one another at point P. Are you clear? At point P alone, we are able to get this resultant displacement. In 11th standard level, already when the two equations, when they are vectorially added, you will get the resultant displacement. Okay, the resultant displacement can be calculated by the two vectors, both have to be added vectorially. So, after adding both the two equations, you can get it as y is equal to add both of them vectorially, a1 sin omega t plus a2 sin omega t plus pi. Here, this equation is common for all the waves, even for sound wave as well as for light wave. This is the common equation. Already in 11th standard level, we have learnt about the same interference phenomena in the case of sound. There, a detailed derivation part was already taught in 11th standard level. Therefore, after simplification, So clear, in the textbook, the resultant displacement equation is clear from the 11th standard textbook reference. Therefore, after adding these two, you will get y is equal to a sin omega t plus theta. So this is the equation which is given from the reference of the 11th standard textbook. Okay. So here a is called, what is a? Capital A is given here. A is the resultant of both the two waves. Therefrom the A is taken. A is the resultant amplitude of the superposing wave. Okay, after superposing both the two, you will be getting a resultant wave. No, this is the amplitude of the resultant wave. Therefore, you should not forget that what is A. Here A is nothing but resultant. Clear? Its amplitude of the resultant wave. When the two waves are superposing with one another, no, what will happen? You will be getting the resultant wave. No, so the resultant wave will have this much amplitude. That is nothing but A. Are you clear? So that A is different from this A1 and A2. A1 is the amplitude of the first wave. A2 is the amplitude of the second wave. So here A, capital A is nothing but, after superposing these two waves, you will be getting a resultant wave. That resultant wave will have a amplitude. That net displacement that causes the net amplitude, resultant amplitude. So A is nothing but amplitude of the resultant wave. So for that, the new equation was already derived. So clear, in 11th standard level. Therefore, the amplitude of the resultant wave can be written here. So what is the equation? Square root of A is equal to square root of A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 cos pi. So here A1 is nothing but amplitude of the first wave. A2 is the amplitude of the second wave. Pi is the phase difference between the first wave and second wave. So this equation is very important one. Are you clear? Don't forget the amplitude of the resultant of both the two waves. This equation is very important. Now here when this amplitude will be maximum, that is the important one. When this amplitude of the resultant wave will be maximum, for that we have to write the condition. Okay, now I am going to write the condition for getting maximum amplitude. When the two waves are interfering with one another, superposing with one another, the resultant wave should have some maximum amplitude. No, the resultant wave should have some maximum amplitude. For that, we have to derive the condition. Look at here, cos pi is there. That cos pi, that phase difference alone determines the amplitude of the resultant wave. When cos pi will be maximum, look at that. I will write the condition one by one. So cos pi is the determining factor. So here cos pi, instead of cos pi we have to substitute. So there the pi values, when the cos pi value will be maximum, the cos pi must be maximum. Find out. Pi should be equal to 0. Pi should be equal to plus or minus 2 pi. Pi should be equal to plus or minus 4 pi. So in those conditions, cos pi value will be maximum. When cos pi is maximum, automatically the amplitude of the resultant wave will also be maximum. So A max, what is A max? When the two waves they are superposing with one another, you will be getting the resultant wave. That resultant wave will have the maximum amplitude when the cos pi value will be maximum. When cos pi will be maximum, if you substitute pi is equal to 0, you will get maximum amplitude. If pi is, instead of pi, if you substitute either plus 2 pi or minus 2 pi, then also you will be getting A max. Are you clear? Therefore, so this is the formula. So finally, after substituting cos 0, what you will get? Either you cos 0 or 2 pi, whatever it may be. Substitute here, you will get 1. After becoming this factor becoming 1, the rest of the factors must be written here. Rest of the factors must be written here. So square root of a1 square a2 square plus 2a1 a2. So this factor becomes 1, so you can leave it. So in the next step we can write it as a max is equal to, this entire factor can be written as a1 plus a2 power of physical square can be written. Are you clear? So this is the formula to get the maximum amplitude of the resultant wave. Are you clear? Here, to get the minimum amplitude, now we are going to derive the second condition, that is for condition for getting minimum amplitude. Sometime what will happen, no, depends on the phase difference. The two waves they will superpose. Because of superposition, the resultant wave will have the minimum amplitude. For minimum amplitude also, we have to derive the condition. Are you clear? So by the time cos phi value should be minimum. Now we have to find out when the cos phi value will be minimum. So that also depends on the phase difference. When that one will happen, tell me, when pi value is plus or minus pi, that is clear, 180, okay, and then plus or minus 3 pi, plus or minus 5 pi, you can substitute pi, you will get the minimum value. Are you clear? If you substitute 3 pi, then also you will get minimum value. Are you clear? Cos pi, that one is equivalent to minus 1. So the factor becomes minus, therefore the amplitude becomes minimum. So we can write a minimum, we can write square root of, same formula must be written. The same formula, a1 square a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos phi. If any one of the value, instead of pi or 2, 3 pi or 5 pi, if any one of the values are substituted in the formula, what will happen? This factor becomes minus. Are you clear? So here, any one you can substitute. Instead of cos pi, you can substitute this, or you can substitute, or you can substitute. So automatically, you will get a1 square plus a2 square, you will get minus value. Therefore, we can write it as 2a1 a2. So in the next step, you will get square root of. So the entire thing can be simplified as a1 square a1 plus, a1 minus a2 power of square you will get. So this is the resultant amplitude, is clear, whose value is minimum, in those conditions. Now we have got the formula to calculate the maximum amplitude, and we have got the formula to get the minimum amplitude of the resultant wave. Understood? The equation which is given in amplitude form, that can be converted into the equation for intensity. Are you clear? As I have told earlier, intensity is directly proportional to the square of the amplitude. Okay, now we would like to convert the amplitude equation in terms of intensity. What we have to do? This amplitude equation must be squared. Amplitude square is equal to, what will happen? This factor, RHS factor, after taking square, the remaining factor you will get a1 square a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos phi you will get. Are you clear? Now here two waves are there. The two waves in which the first wave amplitude is a1. Therefore, the intensity of the first wave can be written as I1 is directly proportional to a1 square. In this form, we can write it for the first wave. Are you clear? The intensity of the second wave can be written as I2 is directly proportional to a2 square. So this equation can be written for the second wave. Are you clear? How will you write the resultant intensity? The resultant intensity can be written as I. When the two waves are superposing with one another, you will get the resultant wave. For the resultant wave, we have to write the expression for intensity. For that, what is the equation? I is directly proportional to A square. So this is the, after superposing these two waves, you will get the resultant wave. No, that resultant will have the intensity in this format. So these three equations can be used here. Now I am going to replace the A square. How A square can be replaced? This A square can be replaced as I, which is equal to A1 square can be replaced by I1. Make a note. Okay. A2 square can be replaced by I2. Are you clear? So A1 square is replaced by I1, A2 square is replaced by I2 plus 2. Here A1 is there, A2 is there. Okay. So these two, A1 and A2, can be written as, here look at the basic equation. I is directly proportional to A square means, here if you take square root on either side, you will get square root of I, which could be written as A. Are you clear? If you take square root on either side, square root of I, it becomes square root of I is directly proportional to A. So in that format we have to write. So here A1 can be replaced by square root of I1. A2 can be replaced by square root of I2. So the remaining thing is cos phi. So this is the expression from which we are able to calculate the resultant intensity of the basically interfered wave. When the two waves, when they are interfering with one another, resultant wave you will get no. The resultant wave will have this much intensity. Okay. Here, with the help of this diagram, I will explain what is interference here. The two waves, when they are traveling from the spot S1 and S2, and they are traveling in this direction, and both the two are superposing here. You are the viewer. If you are viewing here, either you can observe the dark region. So the dark region at which the two waves are interfering, their destructive interference is created. Destructive interference means the resultant intensity will be minimum. If you move your eye from one position to another position, at some other places you can see the bright regions also. So the two light waves, they are superposing and they are creating the bright intensity spots. Their maximum intensity can be seen. There the constructive interference is created. So wherever you observe the maximum intensity light, their constructive interference is created. Wherever you observe the dark region, their destructive interference is created. Alternatively, the clear constructive interference, destructive interference, constructive interference, destructive interference, alternatively it will be created, and you are able to see a band of colors, band of dark region and bright region, the clear in a successive manner. Make a note. Okay. So here dark, bright means wherever dark is seen, it shows a destructive interference. Wherever the bright region is seen, it shows that their constructive interference is created. Now before that, we have to learn how to derive the expression for the resultant one. Okay, the resultant one, it is having, resultant means either dark or bright. For that, the intensity equation must be derived. So this is derived from the previous page. Okay, I is equal to I1 plus I2, 2 square root of I1 square root of I2 cos pi is the equation for I. Here look at the expression, all the factors, they are in the form of intensity. I1 is the intensity of the first wave, I2 is the intensity of the second wave. Are you clear? All expressions are given in terms of intensity. Now the same expression that could be given even in terms of amplitude. How will you write? We know the expression for amplitude. A is equal to square root of A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 cos phi. Everything is written in the square root. Now we know the expression. If A is square, I is directly proportional to A square. No. If A is square, what will happen? You will get intensity formula. A in the entire factor, square root factor, that should be squared. After taking square root, clear, and square, you will get the new expression for intensity. Look at the expression here for intensity. that intensity formula, it is having everything in terms of amplitude form. Here everything is in terms of intensity form. Here everything is given in terms of amplitude form. Both of them are very much useful. Are you clear? With the help of the first one and with the help of the second equation, we are going to get the condition for constructive interference and destructive interference. Okay. Now we are going to learn the condition for constructive interference. In the two light waves, when they are superposing with one another, at some places maximum intensity light will be created. Are you clear? When maximum intensity spots are created, by that time it is said to be constructive interference had happened. Okay. So here phase difference, clear, must be in between the two waves. The phase difference must be either 0 or plus or minus 2 pi or plus or minus 4 pi. Among those conditions, any one of them should happen. Only then is it clear you are able to get the alternative maximum intensity spots. Okay. Now we know the expression for intensity. This first expression, that one is having the intensity formula. So in those expression, everything is in terms of intensity. I1 is the intensity of the first wave, I2 is the intensity of the second wave, I is the resultant intensity of both the two waves. So here the second formula that comprising everything in terms of amplitudes. Okay. Now this pi value that must be substituted both in the first formula as well as in the second formula. Now I am going to substitute the 0, r2 pi, r4 pi in the which formula? First formula. Now substitute now. I is equal to first equation. In first equation I am substituting I1 plus I2 plus 2 square root of I1 square root of I2. If instead of cos pi, if 0 is substituted, what will happen? Cos pi value is 1. Therefore, the equation that one becomes I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 square root of I1 I2. So in that format you will be getting. Are you clear? These two can be combined and it can be written as I1 plus I2 plus 2. Both of them can be written within the single square root. Are you clear? So this is the expression that gives you the expression for maximum intensity. Are you clear? When two waves are interfering with one another, at some places you will be getting the superposed wave in which you are able to get the maximum intensity light. Now for those clear conditions, this maximum intensity formula can be used. So this is the expression that gives you to calculate the maximum intensity of light due to constructive interference. Okay. Now I am going to substitute the same pi value in the second formula. So in the second formula also pi value to be substituted. Are you clear? How will you write? I is equal to a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2. Instead of cos pi, substitute 0. So I is equal to a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2. Cos pi value, cos 0 is 1. Therefore this one can be simply written as a1 plus a2 whole power of square can be written. Are you clear? So this one also gives you the which one? The maximum intensity. Are you clear? When the two waves are interfering, you will be getting the maximum intensity spot. No, to calculate the intensity of that particular spot, this formula can be used, that is given in terms of amplitude form. Make a note, this is in intensity form, this is in amplitude form. Both of them are giving the expression for maximum intensity of the superposed wave. Make a note, very important one. Now we are going to learn the condition for destructive interference. When the two light waves, when they are superposing with one another at some other places, you are able to observe the minimum intensity spots. There destructive interference will take place. So it is simply called as minimum intensity. When the minimum intensity or destructive interference will take place, the two waves they should possess the phase difference of the following cases. Either the phase difference should be plus or minus pi, plus or minus 3 pi, plus or minus 5 pi. So the condition it goes on like that. So now we have already found out these two equations. The intensity of the resultant wave equation is already found out. One it is in the form of intensity format and another one is it is in the form of amplitude format. Now I am going to substitute any one of the value to clear. Finally, we are going to get the expression for I minimum, that is minimum intensity formula. So how will you get I is equal to, now I am going to substitute pi value in the first equation. I is equal to I1 plus I2 2 square root of, here one plus has to come, okay, plus square root of plus 2 square root of I1 I2, instead of cos pi you can substitute either pi or 3 pi or 5 pi, whatever it may be. So for sample I am substituting pi. Are you clear? So I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 square root of I1 I2 cos pi value is minus 1. Are you clear? So now the formula, that one becomes I1 plus I2. This minus can be written here, root 2 square root of, both of them can be written in single square root. Are you clear? So this is the expression. So from this expression what you will get, the two waves they are interfering, finally you will be getting the minimum intensity spot. No, to calculate the minimum intensity of the particular spot, this expression can be used. Are you clear? So this is in intensity format to calculate the minimum intensity. Okay, minimum intensity, I minimum. Now we are going to get the same expression in amplitude format. I A1 square A2 square plus 2A1 A2, instead of cos pi substitute any one of the value. Here I am substituting pi. I is equal to A1 square A2 square plus 2A1 A2, cos pi value is minus 1. So the expression, that one becomes A1 square plus A2 square minus of 2A1 A2. How? So clear, in trigonometry, in algebra, so clear, we have learnt I, this one can be simply written as A1 minus A2 to the whole square. So here this formula that gives you to calculate the expression of minimum intensity. After interfering these two wave, that one will create the minimum intensity spot. No, to calculate the spot with the minimum intensity, to calculate the intensity, this equation to be used. I have put tick mark in both the two. Be clear, this is the expression to calculate the minimum intensity that is given in intensity format. Here this is the expression to calculate the minimum intensity with the help of the amplitude of the two wave. By knowing the intensity of two waves, we are able to use this equation. By knowing the value of amplitude of the two wave, we are able to get the I value in minimum intensity format. So it's a lengthy one, but it is very useful one. By using this, problem will be asked. Okay.